Hey, what's up, dudes? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another, NetherRealm Studios video. We're talking about Injustice 3. Now, I want to preface this in saying there isn't shit going on in this community when it comes to NRS. NRS has a bad habit of, when one of their games, dies, and when we're in the dead zone waiting on the next game to be announced, they are horrible at keeping their community alive. So right now the community is kind of on fire. Nobody's talking about anything. There's no news going on, no official updates, and it's really just a lot of gameplay videos. And I don't like to do that. I don't like to do pure gameplay videos. So in this video, I'm going to give you my top 10 characters that I want base roster on Injustice 3. Now, this roster could end up being 35 characters. It could end up being 25 characters. We don't really know. But there are a few set characters that I want in this game on base roster, and I want to throw them at you guys today. Now, I got 3 requests. Request number 1, before we get into this video: like the video if you do enjoy the video. By the end of the video, I'd really appreciate it. Number 2 goes along with number 1. If you really end up enjoying the video and want more content like this for fighting games, mainly NetherRealm Studios and Dead by Daylight, subscribe to the channel. Number 3, leave me a comment down there in that comment section. Give me your top 5 to top 10 characters that you want base roster in Injustice 3. But with those out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into this. So I think number 10 has to be John Constantine. Now, keep in mind, this is in no order. This is just the top 10 characters. They're not from 10 to 1. This is the one I want the most. This is just my top 10. John Constantine is up there, though. John Constantine is a character that I wanted really bad in Injustice 1, that I wanted really bad in Injustice 2. Even during Injustice 2, he had a very good TV show out at that point, played by Matt Ryan, I think his name was. Great show, great actor, great character. He played a big part in the Injustice comic books when it got to the whole magical side in Injustice Year 2. I think it was Year 2. It was either Year 2 or Year 3. But either way, he played a very big part in the comics. I'm very surprised that he wasn't in Injustice 2 as DLC or whatever else. So I'd really like to see this character base roster. Number 9 is Red Hood. Now, Red Hood is a character that was in Injustice 2. I loved the character in Injustice 2. He was so fun to play. And for a lot of people, Red Hood is one of the most popular and loved Bat member family. And we all know the Injustice game, they love to have their Bat family members up in there. So it was awesome that we got Red Hood in Injustice 2. He was a fun character to play. He hasn't made an appearance in any story yet when it comes to Injustice. I don't even know if he was in the comic books when it comes to Injustice, but he has plenty of backstory to be there, with Damian accidentally murdering Nightwing, Dick Grayson, in Injustice 1 and the Injustice comic book. So he's got plenty of reason to be in the story. I'm surprised he hasn't been yet, and I don't know how they'll time in. I'm pretty sure he hasn't died, so I'm very, very interested to see what they could do with that character in the story, so I definitely want him in the game. Number 8 is Shazam. Shazam hasn't been in Injustice since Injustice 1, and I think we all know why. The boy died. Superman straight up murdered his ass. But Shazam is one of my favorite DC superheroes. I feel like he has some very interesting powers, almost the same as Black Adam. And we had Black Adam in Injustice 2. He was really fun, if not extremely overpowered when the game first came out, up until the end, basically. So I feel like bringing Shazam back, playing him back into the story, and seeing how they could kind of make good and evil night and day when it comes to playing as Shazam or playing Black Adam, I feel like that could be very interesting. And overall, when it comes to the gear system, I'd love to see what they would do with a character like Shazam with gear. Number 7 is Lobo. Now, Lobo was actually a DLC character in Injustice 1, and he has played a part in the Injustice story. If I remember correctly, he was in Injustice Year 1. He hasn't done much beyond that. He hasn't appeared in the story mode for either of the games so far, and he was just a DLC character in Injustice 1, and from what I remember, he was a pretty fun character. So I'd like to see them bring him to the base roster of Injustice 3, play him back into the story of Injustice. I can't remember if he died in the Injustice comic book or not, but Lobo, I'm pretty sure he can't be killed, or he's very hard to kill. So I'd love to see him play back into the story and be a base roster character. I'd love to see what they could do with him, as he, if I remember correctly, he was a grapple character in Injustice 1. Number 6 is Plastic Man. Now, the reason I'm putting Plastic Man on here is because we see him in a small part, a small little clip in that Injustice leaked movie footage for the animated movie. movie. We know that Plastic Man is going to be in that movie in some way, shape, or form, and we know he's finally being played into the Injustice story. He might have been played into the comic books. I don't remember that personally. It's been years since I read those comic books, but Plastic Man is a very interesting and hilarious character, and he's got a very interesting playstyle. Of course, he's the Mr. Fantastic along with Elongated Man of the DC universe, and Elongated Man actually played a pretty decent role in the Flash TV show a few seasons back. I don't know if he's still there. Ralph Denby, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm getting those two mixed up. Ralph might be Plastic Man. I'm getting those two mixed up because they're so similar, of course, but I'd love to see what they could do with a fighting style like that in an NRS game, because he would basically be the Dhalsim of Mortal Kombat, of Injustice, of NetherRealm games, and we all know Dhalsim has a very interesting and unique playstyle in Street Fighter, so I'd love to see how they do that playstyle in an NRS game. Now, number 5, I know that I bitch a lot about the Bat family and how much spotlight they get, but I feel like a very interesting character that we could get in Injustice 3 is TwoFace. Now, we've gotten pretty much every other Bat family member, villain, hero, whatever else, except for Azazel, and it's either Azazel or Azrael. I think it's Azazel, and TwoFace in the Injustice games. And I think TwoFace, while he probably just would be a zoning character, could be very interesting to have in the game. I'd personally love to have a Tommy Lee Jones premium skin for him, but it'd be interesting either way. Yes, he'd probably just be a zoning character in a pinstripe suit burned on half side, using a Tommy gun, you know, fucking 50 round Tommy gun, whatever. But I think he'd still be a really cool character to have in the game. I would play him, and I'm sure a lot of other people who enjoy TwoFace would play him as well. Now, the next character is, of course, Beast Boy. Now, through Injustice 1 and Injustice 2, I've never heard more outcry for a character than I have for when it comes to Beast Boy. Beast Boy is one of the most popular Teen Titans ever, and he is so popular because of the Teen Titans TV show that most people my age, 23, a little bit over and a little bit under, grew up on. We grew up on that Teen Titans show, and whether it got turned into shit with Teen Titans Go or not, we still remember those characters. Cyborg, Raven, Starfire, Robin, and Beast Boy. We all remember them, we all want them in the games, and we've gotten every single one of them except for Beast Boy. Now, the next character that I think actually makes a ton of sense, played a very big part in the Injustice comics, and especially when it gets to the Nightwing part of it, is Deadman. See, in the comics, Nightwing dies and he takes over Deadman's spot as Deadman. I don't really remember what happens beyond that, but we all love Dick Grayson, we all want Dick Grayson back, and I think, you know, Deadman, playing him in that way could be a awesome and interesting way to bring the character back and do something new and different with him. So I think Deadman Nightwing could be a very cool thing to see base roster on Injustice 3. Now, the next character is another Bat family character. He's been in some other things, but I think he's still interesting enough to do, and that is Clayface. I'm going for a lot of like weird, stretchy characters and like morphing characters, but I think those are kind of the coolest. Beast Boy, Clayface, Plastic Man, Elongated Man. But I think Clayface could be a very interesting character to bring into the game. Maybe he has an ability stealing move where he can morph into the character he's fighting against. I know we've seen that in other fighting games. I think it would be a very interesting thing to see in NetherRealm Studios. It's just a lot of these characters are characters that I could see NetherRealm being able to pull from other series, other fighting games like Street Fighter, Plastic Man to Dhalsim. When it comes to Beast Boy transforming characters, Clayface transforming characters like 11 and Third Strike, or now I guess 11 in Street Fighter 5, the way he works now. But I think it could be very interesting to see a transforming character like Clayface, how he would play in an NRS game. And for our last character, I am going to go a little bit cliche and say Starfire, even though we had Starfire as a DLC character in Injustice 2. I've had like 2 Injustice 2 DLC characters on this list, but I think Starfire's story that we really haven't gotten to see yet, and only have seen through intro dialogue in Injustice 2, when it comes to her entire team being wiped out and some stuck in the Phantom Zone thanks to Superman, I think playing her into the story along with Supergirl could be very, very interesting. I didn't like her playstyle in Injustice 2. She was a very zony character. She didn't have a lot of rushdown mix-up that I like to do, so I didn't play her much, but I love the character of Starfire. Again, it's that whole Teen Titans thing, having Deadman Nightwing, having Beast Boy, having Starfire, and maybe Raven comes back as base roster, having the Teen Titans on the base roster would be incredible. And really, this is just mainly for story choice, for story reasons for me having this character on this list at all. But that's my list, guys. It was a long list. I probably should have done 5 characters, but I did 10 because I'm dumb and I don't know why I do things like that. But anyways, I want you guys to let me know what you think of my list in the comments down below. Again, give me your top 5 to top 10, and I'll let you know what I think about them. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Tooten. I've been your host, and I will see you dudes next time. Peace out.